Okay, I can't see Onindo, Showmeek. They are quite regular. Okay, till now I only can see 22, around 22 login. Two persons are login from multiple devices. So 22 people only are present. Abhishek is not present here. Amartya is not present here also, I think. These are people who join classes regularly. Pallavi is not present. Devopam also not present most probably. Then Anirban, are you present? Most probably Anirban is present, right? No, Anirban is not present also. Nupur, where is Nupur and Orita? Nupur and Orita, inform them and ask them to join immediately. Pritam, where is Pritam? Someshwar, Shushmita, where is Shushmita? Then Krishnendu. These people should join at least. Amartya, why are you so late?
টাইমটা দেখিনি।
বাকি বন্ধুদের জানো যারা ক্লাস করে তাদের মধ্যে অনেকে এখনো জয়েন করেনি, তাদের
হ্যাঁ
ঘুম
স্যার।
থেকে তোলো, ডেকে নিয়ে এসো। Immediately call these people: Shomik, Anirban, Orita, Nupur. Inform them. Oyon is present, I think. Yes, Oyon is present. Oyon, where is Deep? Inform Deep, Oyon.
Okay, sir.
Jhumki, inform your friends. Inform all your friends, Jhumki.
Yes, sir, I am informing only.
Yes. And where is Onindo? This is surprising. He has not missed a single class, I think, starting from the first day. Inform Onindo. Inform Onindo immediately. Then Payal, Prithi. They are also absent. Ortika. Where is Ortika? Trisha, inform Ortika. Payal, Pritha.
Okay, sir.
Deborshi is also absent, I think. Deborshi Bera, where he is. So someone inform Deborshi. Kumarjit, you inform Deborshi. You inform it to Deborshi and Onindo.
Okay, sir.
Shubham Sharon, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So you inform the other Shubham. He is sleeping now.
স্যার ওর নাম্বার নেই আগে
কি করেছে, ওর নাম্বার রাখোনি? হ্যাঁ, তাহলে কার নাম্বার আছে জয়েন করেনি সেরকম দুজনকে ডেকে তোলো
স্যার
তো।
অক্ষয় আছে
ইয়েস, অক্ষয় মিস হয়ে গেল কেন? কোথায় গেল?
তো প্রীতির কাজ জানি না স্যার, অক্ষয়ের ফোন তুললো না। আর প্রীতি কাজে বসেছিল স্যার, মিটিং চলছিল তাই জানি।
ওকে, অক্ষয়কে অ্যাটলিস্ট একটা মেসেজ করে দাও। ওকে, অক্ষয় তো
হ্যাঁ,
ক্লাসে
স্যার,
থাকে
করেছি।
রেগুলার। হ্যাঁ, ওকে। ইয়েস, অক্ষয় মিস করছে। যারা ক্লাস করে রেগুলার আমি চাচ্ছি তারা অ্যাটলিস্ট প্রেজেন্ট থাকুক। ওকে, সৌভিক মন্ডল, তুমি কাকে ডাকছো? সৌভিক আর সৌভিক দাস, তুমি আনতে পারলে না তো সৌমিককে?
হ্যাঁ, অনিন্দ আছে।
আচ্ছা, অনিন্দ আসছে।
হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ বলো সৌভিক।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, শুভমকে বললাম, শুভমকে কল করেছিলাম, ওর জয়েন হচ্ছে বললো।
শুভমকে রেখেছো, ওকে ঠিক আছে। আর কেউ তোমার ফ্রেন্ডদের মধ্যে মিসিং আছে?
দেখছি তাহলে স্যার।
অনিমেষকে দেখো তো পাও কিনা।
স্যার অনিমেষের নাম্বার আমার কাছে নেই।
অনিমেষ নেই, ঠিক আছে, যাকে পাচ্ছ দেখো। ওকে।
হুম।
আর সৌভিক দাস কোথায় গেলে? সৌভিক দাস,
ইয়েস স্যার।
হ্যাঁ কাকে ডাকছো?
স্যার সৌমিককে ফোন করেছিলাম স্যার, ও একটু বাইরে এসে বললে আমি একটু পরে জয়েন করছি।
ওকে ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ ইনফর্ম করে দাও অ্যাটলিস্ট।
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ওকে, আর
অনিন্দকে
কাকে?
স্যার পেলাম না।
অনিন্দ জয়েন করেছে এই মোমেন্টেই দেখতে পাচ্ছি, শুভম, অনিন্দ, পৃথ্বী, দেবর্ষী এরা জয়েন করলো। ওকে, মেয়েদের মধ্যে কিন্তু কয়েকজন রেগুলার জয়েন করেনি এখন আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি, অ্যাটলিস্ট নূপুর, অরিতা এই দুজন তো রেগুলার। সুস্মিতা জয়েন করে গেছে। নূপুর এন্ড অরিতা এই দুজনকে একটু কেউ ইনফর্ম করো। সহেলি অলসো, সহেলি। অনিন্দ এত লেট করলে কেন? দেবর্ষী আর অনিন্দ।
স্যার ঘুমিয়ে পড়েছিলাম একটু।
ব্যাস, কি করেছিল? আর অনিন্দ কোথায় গেলে? অনিন্দ অডিওটা আসছে না, অনিন্দ অডিওটা প্রবলেম হচ্ছে, আসছে না। সৌমিক has joined. I want at least 50% student in this class. Already 30 has crossed. I need 3-4 more students at least. So among girls, I want few of them should join. And Pritam, someone inform Pritam. Pritam
Hello,
should
sir.
join. হ্যাঁ
শুনতে
বলো
পাচ্ছেন,
অনিন্দ,
স্যার?
এবার শুনতে পাচ্ছ?
স্যার
তো দেরি কেন?
বলছিলাম বাইরে আছি স্যার, বোনের তারিখ আজকে।
ওকে, বাইরে রয়েছো। ওকে, যদি পারো তুমি শুনতে তাহলে জয়েন করে থাকো ক্লাসটা, অ্যাটলিস্ট শোনো, ঠিক আছে?
ঠিক আছে স্যার, ট্রাই করছি স্যার।
ওকে।
হ্যালো স্যার, আমিও বাইরে আছি স্যার, মানে অসুবিধা হবে না তো?
না না, আমার কোনো অসুবিধা নেই, তোমরা একটু শোনার চেষ্টা করো যে আমি কোন কোন জায়গাগুলো ফোকাস করছি, জিনিসগুলো একটু দেখে রাখো, পরে তো ডিসকাস করাই যাবে।
স্যার, কাউকে আমাদের ক্লাসের মধ্যে যদি কোনো কেউ যদি রেকর্ড করতে পারে সেশনটা, তাহলে খুব ভালো হবে। যারা আসতে পারেনি তারা পরে দেখে নিতে পারবে। যদি
যারা
কেউ
আসতে পারেনি, যারা আসে না এমনি তারা তো নিজেরাই করে নিচ্ছে, আমি এক্সপেক্ট করবো। তোমরা মাঝে মাঝে ক্লাসে থাকো, রেগুলারলি থাকো অলমোস্ট। তো তোমাদের যদি পরে এই সেশন নিয়ে কোনো কোয়েরি থাকে আমি আনসার দেবো, ডোন্ট ওরি।
স্যার,
আজকে যেটুকু পারছো শুনে
বাড়িতে
রাখো।
একটু স্যার অরিতার বাড়িতে একটু প্রবলেম আছে, ও আসতে পারবে না।
ওকে ওকে ওকে, ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে।
স্যার এটা রেকর্ড করে রাখছি।
রেকর্ড করে রাখছো, ওকে ঠিক আছে, রেকর্ড করতেই পারো, বাট রেকর্ডটা অতটা এফেক্টিভ নাও হতে পারে, ফাইন, ইউ ক্যান রেকর্ড। যারা রেগুলার থাকো তাদের কোয়ারির আনসার দেবো, ডোন্ট ওরি। বাট বিকজ ইউর সেমিস্টার এক্সাম ইজ জাস্ট এট দ্য ডোর স্টেপ, সো আই থিঙ্ক আর কদিনের মধ্যে তোমাদের কাছে প্রেশার হয়ে যাবে, মানে অন্য সাবজেক্ট গুলো তোমাদের রিভাইজ করতে হবে বা পড়তে হবে। সো ইউ মাস্ট স্টার্ট আর্লি, অ্যাটলিস্ট অ্যাট দিস স্টেজ। কালকে 1st March, সো দ্যাট ইজ ওয়াই আই এম নকিং ইউ। ওকে, সো মোস্ট অফলি কাউকে একটা জয়েন করতে দেখলাম, জাস্ট yes, we are almost 34. নূপুরকে দেখলাম না, তাই তো? অরিতা তো পারবে না জয়েন করতে। নূপুর অ্যান্ড সহেলি অ্যান্ড নূপুর, এদের দুজনের কোনো ইনফরমেশন পেলাম না। সো সামওয়ান ট্রাই সহেলি অ্যান্ড নূপুর, আদারওয়াইজ যারা রেগুলার ক্লাস। এন্ড অক্ষয়, সহেলি, নূপুর, অক্ষয়। দেবব্রত আছো তো ক্লাসে? Yes, Orita has joined. Debabrata, are you present? Yes, Debabrata, হ্যাঁ তোমার অডিওটা আসছে না? ওকে, দেখেছি তুমি আসো। ওকে ওকে, অডিওতে প্রবলেম আছে কিছু, নো প্রবলেম। Okay, so Orita has joined. So Akshay is not reachable. So অক্ষয়, নূপুর এন্ড সহেলি, একটুখানি ট্রাই করো তোমরা কেউ। অক্ষয়, নূপুর এন্ড সহেলি, এই তিনজনকে একটু ট্রাই করো, বাই চান্স যদি পেয়ে যাও।
স্যার জয়েন করেছি আমি।
ও, সহেলি করেছো?
আর স্যার
ওকে, হ্যাঁ
নূপুরকে
ফাইন।
ফোনে পাচ্ছি না, মোস্ট প্রবাবলি ও বাড়িতে নেই।
ওকে, ঠিক আছে, দু একজন মিস হলে ঠিক আছে। আর অক্ষয়কেও ফোনে পাওয়া যাচ্ছে না, ফাইন। সো উই ক্যান স্টার্ট, আই থিঙ্ক। Okay, so reason behind calling you is already I have explained that for next 10 days you will have a busy schedule. Okay, you may have some campusing, I don't know, and within 10 days you'll have to cover everything regarding your project, theory, practical, everything. So you will be under pressure. And since this time there will be an online exam already, you have been informed, and you know 50 questions you'll have to answer within 90 minutes, and so it may get difficult for you. And the pattern of question, as we have learned, it will be from diversified area throughout your syllabus. Okay, so equal proportion of questions will be from different modules of the syllabus. So that is one important part, one important factor to remember. So that is why in these 2-3 classes, maximum 2-3 class, this is the first one. Within 2-3 classes, I will cover and inform you about everything. Everything means every important part in every module. And so that I will discuss the topic so that you can answer simple things. Okay. If you attend these classes, I think you will have great help. Already many things we have discussed in detail. Those who have attended those classes regarding basic structure of cloud computing, you have a fair idea. Okay, so few other things I think it is very important to discuss with you, so that you can get ready for the exam. Okay, so today I am going to start with the last module of your syllabus. In that last module there is one very important topic. Okay, and one more thing always I do, and I must again repeat the same thing. I generally focus on topics which are there in your syllabus, of course, but which are very much important in your practical implementation also. Whenever you are doing some project, or when you will be working in industry, so the topics that will help you more, I focus on them more. That is my strategy. Okay, so this time also, today also, I'm going to do the same thing. In the last module, I have picked up a particular topic that I'm going to discuss today. And if you can consult with the last module, that topic is, I will try to open the last module from here. So that, just hold on, if I can open the syllabus. And those who have not attended the class regularly, my suggestion for all of you will be, you just discuss with your friends whatever has been discussed here in the classroom. Many things we have discussed, many important topics, many modules. So just discuss with your friends. Your friends will be able to help you out in understanding those important things. So don't ignore. Everything I have discussed in my classes are very important, very basic things, and are very important. So don't ignore those things. Okay. So just hold on. Okay, one mistake I have probably made during sharing of the link of this class. Probably I have shared the link in IT classroom, right? Yes. What I have done is I have shared the link in IT classroom. That was a mistake actually. Okay, just hold on. Okay, the syllabus is not present here as I can see. Okay, so I have opened the syllabus from university portal. So in the last module, that is, you have 4 modules in the syllabus. Okay, in cloud computing syllabus you have 4 modules. So now under every module there are multiple topics. In 4th module I can see there are 4 topics mentioned, 4 heads mentioned. Okay, So among these four heads, all topics are not that much important, first of all, and all topics are not so vast also. Okay, so there are few topics from where you can expect more question. Those kind of topics are there also. So the topic today I'm going to discuss today under module 4 is service oriented architecture today. Okay, service oriented architecture, that is the topic I'm going to discuss. And those who have some link with the current IT industry, those among you who have some link with the current IT industry, you may have heard a term SOA, or popularly it is known as a SOA or SOA, which is actually service oriented architecture. Okay, so it is so important for last 5 to 8 years. SOA or service oriented architecture has been a very popular term in IT industry. Okay, now what is this, that we will try to understand. Okay, this is part of your syllabus and this is very important. Okay, to be a software engineer you will have to know what is SOA. Now service oriented architecture means, you can understand from the name, it is something architecture, some kind of architecture it is. Okay, and for your information I'll say this is a software development architecture. Service oriented architecture is actually a software development architecture. So you are developing software and you will develop software in future also. So what is the architecture you are following to develop the software? If someone asks you the question, okay, maybe you will not be able to answer what kind of architecture you are following to build your software. But in reality, what is done in industry, in reality, if you are going to develop a big software, a very useful software, very important business software, if you are going to develop, your software has to be based on service oriented architecture or SOA. So this is the importance of the software. First of all, in very simple words, I have given you the importance of service oriented architecture. So all softwares, those are being developed nowadays, are based on service oriented. All software means all the important softwares which are time critical, which needs to take a lot of load. So these softwares are all service oriented architecture. Okay, they follow service oriented architecture. So now slowly we'll start understanding what is a service oriented architecture, and at any point if you feel something not clear, you can interrupt me. Okay, just interrupt me, I will explain what actually I'm trying to say. So now listen to me carefully to understand the topic, so that you can understand the topic, you can answer the questions of exams. Okay, both purpose should be solved. Now see, when you are developing a software, that software of course will fulfill some business need. Okay, so software are developed to fulfill business needs. That is the very raw reality. But business means what is business, or what kind of business needs are fulfilled through software? If we can try to imagine, say for example a business about a bank, if you can imagine. Okay, now a bank can have 10 lakhs customer. Now among those 10 lakhs customer, maybe at a moment, at a day, 10,000 customers are making transaction. So very less number of people are making transaction in a day, if we consider a bank, for example. But if you consider for example a social networking site, or if you consider a business portal, okay, online business portal like Amazon, so there means lakhs of people are operating every day. Okay, if it is not in crores. So lot of people are making transactions at every moment, every day, every hour. And another thing is, so this is the first thing, a software which is fulfilling business need to handle huge load. First of all, this is one criteria. And second important criteria is, when your software can handle a huge load, that is very good. But that doesn't mean you have developed a very good software. Now, a good software has many criteria. One among them is security, of course. So regarding those, we are not discussing right now. But what are the other points? Other point is, once you have developed a software and it is functioning very well, doesn't guarantee that the software is very good, because tomorrow, see, everything is changing very fast in this world. So the requirement of our life is also changing very fast, and so the requirement of business world is also changing very fast. What a business needs today may not need after 6 months even. Okay, so everything is changing so fast. For example, if you see the payment system, okay, in business transactions, payment system, if we consider a simple thing, 5 years back, maybe few people were doing online payments, like NEFT. Okay, if you have heard the term, online banking transaction. So when you were purchasing through online 5 years, 7 years or 10 years back, maybe you were paying through online using NEFT or online banking. Next came the wallets, okay, like Paytm. So those wallets people started using, and then also came the credit card system. Also, maybe few people were using the credit card system. So slowly, businesses had to means accept this kind of transaction, and so the portals also had to upgrade itself to accommodate this kind of transaction. And nowadays, if you know regarding the UPI transaction, I don't know who are aware about UPI transaction. I think every one of you should be aware of. So there is another transaction procedure that has emerged in last 3-4 years. That is UPI transaction, which is a lot more faster. Okay, so people are preferring, businesses are preferring also UPI transactions. So again, portals are to be updated to accommodate UPI transaction. Okay, so that was my point. Every day our needs are changing and business needs are also changing, and so the portals or the softwares you are developing may need frequent changes. So what I was talking about is, if your software is running very well, that doesn't guarantee that your software is very good. Your software needs to be means rearranged, redesigned, or changes should be very easy to incorporate in your software. Then only your software will be good. Okay, nowadays that is the requirement. So very easily your software should be modifiable. That is another requirement. Now to fulfill these requirements, so software. So now Nupur has joined. Okay, Nupur, welcome. So join us. So when you are developing a software, your software has to be very secure. Your software needs to be very fast. Your software need to carry huge load or support huge load. At the same point, your software must be able to customize itself very easily. Okay, it must it must give you the facility of customization. So that is another need. Now to fulfill all these needs, the architecture your software development should follow, that is architecture which will fulfill all these requirements, right? And software oriented architecture is one such architecture. So I think you can understand the requirement of software oriented service oriented architecture. It is service oriented architecture. Okay, so now slowly we'll have to understand what is service oriented architecture. So ultimately, before I start going into service oriented architecture, I will conclude whatever I have discussed. Main thing that we have discussed is business and our software, that software that we are developing. So business and software should go hand in hand. So as the businesses are changing, our software should change. Okay, software should not be replaced. That is a critical task. No company will want that. They will not say that, okay, I want to replace this software. Not at all. What they will say is, okay, my software is okay. I need this functionality, or I need to remove this functionality. I need some better functionality. So this customization should be very easy. Okay. So service-oriented architecture is the bridge between these requirements. Okay, business and IT. In between there is this service-oriented architecture. In between whom? Business world and IT world. service-oriented architecture is kind of a bridge that is fulfilling all the requirements of business world through IT. Okay, so this is the basic thing. Now, if we go into service-oriented architecture and if we try to understand how service-oriented architecture is, first of all, it is not that you will develop any service-oriented architecture. Okay, you are not going to develop, or software developers are not going to develop any service-oriented architecture. Okay, just hold on. Okay, Raj Sharma has joined. That is very good. Raj, are you there? Okay, Raj, you are most probably, this is the first time you are joining my class over online, is it?
No, sir, I was joined earlier from another email, so I mistakenly. So I first cut the call and again joined with my original email.
Okay, but you are not very frequent in my classes. That is why I am asking you. So, are you okay? Means, are you ready with all your skills for campusing, Raj?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because we don't see you for 1 year, I don't know what you are doing. That is why I am asking. Okay, that is good if you are prepared. Okay, fine. So already you have started our class. So let us continue. So this is all about service-oriented architecture, and see, you are not going to develop service-oriented architecture. Okay, and so service-oriented architecture is not a technology that will that we can develop. Now it is a methodology, you can say. So you will develop your software. You will develop your software using the philosophy of service-oriented architecture. Okay. Now what is it actually? This in service-oriented architecture. When we are trying to develop one application, everything will be components will be services. Okay, we'll combine services. So actually our software or application will be combination of multiple services. Okay, then we'll say that our software is or application is following service oriented architecture. So what is a service? Now service is something that can provide you some output, okay, some service. So service component is something that will give you some service, of course. So when one software is giving you some output, or a software is doing some job for you, so that is a service. Okay, but service is the smallest component. Service is the smallest component, not the entire software. So what is the difference actually is a service will integrate with another service, and that service will integrate with another service. This way multiple services will come together and will give us a useful output. Now these services in between, they will interact with them and they will process everything, and ultimately we'll get a suitable output for our requirement. That means services need to interact with each other. How will they interact? Now if I ask you this question, how a software component can interact with other software component, what will be your answer? Anyone? Question is, if I ask you how a software component can interact with other software component, what will be the answer? Interaction means both way. It can be I am taking some input, or it can be I am giving some output. So if a software component tries to interact with another software component, what is the way? How they can interact? Anyone here want to answer this? Not difficult at all for you to answer. Anyone? Souvik Das, what is your answer? You don't know. Okay, Jayashree, what will be your answer? Jayashree,
Don't know, sir.
no, it is very easy to answer. Just concentrate to my question. Okay, I will check with another person. Kumarjit, do you have the answer? I'm repeating the question again. If a service component or a software component, just to think about a software component. If a software component want to interact with another software component, how can they interact? This is the simple question. What will be your answer? Kumarjit, any answer?
Through another software, which one interact both the software? Intermediate.
No, you are talking about another software. No, not that is not the answer.
Any intermediate.
No software is required actually. What is the means of interaction between two software components? Who can answer? Who can answer? I think you should answer it. It is not a difficult one. Shubhajit Mukherjee. Shubham, you want to answer?
Sir, I mean, suppose I am using one software and another person using another software. So how to interact two software between two software?
Yes, you can answer the question. Answer will be same. No problem.
REST API.
REST API, you are saying. Okay, fine. Let us check. You are thinking means in different manner. Answer is very easy. No need to know REST and API. Nothing. Okay. Without knowing this also you can answer this. Just think what can be the other answer. Sharup, any idea? Sharup?
No, sir. Don't
know. Okay, fine. Then Amartya, how two software component can interact with each other?
Say interface.
আচ্ছা একটা আনসার দিয়েছো, খুব খারাপ না, বাট আরো ইজি কিছু। ওকে, আই এম চেঞ্জিং মাই কোশ্চেন নাও। কনসেপ্ট, ইয়েস,
Can I try?
ইয়েস, অফ কোর্স।
Sir, inter-process communication.
Inter-process communication is the term, okay, but actually what is that? What is required to make inter-process communication? That is the answer, okay? Because inter-process communication is a tough word for everyone to understand, okay? But if I ask you how you can implement inter-process communication,
Sir,
what is
by
that?
using sockets.
Socket is another difficult term. In case of socket, you see, you need network at least, okay? But if both the software components are there in a single machine, so you don't need any socket, isn't it? So in that case, how they will interact? More easy answer. Answer is more easy. Okay, I'm making the question easier for you. Okay. Now see, this was an easy question. Just listen to the next question. I'm just changing my question. If you have two different functions or methods, if you have two different methods and I ask you that you make interaction between these two methods must interact. Now tell me what will be the tool so that they can interact, or how, through which mean they will interact. Now who can answer? This is the simplest version of the question. How two methods can interact?
So taking the
All another into
returning the value, sir.
কুমারজিৎ বলছো রিটার্নিং দ্য ভ্যালু। হ্যাঁ, দেবব্রত কি বলছো?
Taking the arguments and returning the value, sir.
Taking the argument and returning the value, exactly correct answer. Same, Kumarjit and Devabrata, you are saying same thing. Taking the argument, by passing the argument and returning the value, that is the answer. And in generalized term, what we can say, what we are doing actually by passing arguments and returning value, we are actually passing message. Passing the argument to a function and returning value from a function, that is input and output. So through input and output, what we are actually passing? These are messages. Through argument, we are passing some message into the function, and through return value, we are getting some output from the function. So similarly, when I am asking you how two software component can interact with each other, answer will be same. It is the passing of message. Is it clear, Prateep? It is message passing, okay? All right, I think it is clear to you now. And based on this philosophy, service-oriented architecture works. Okay, based on this message passing philosophy, service-oriented architecture works. So service-oriented architecture actually is a service component that delivers some kind of output to us, and that interact with different components, different other service components through message passing. Now, what is the benefit? First of all, why service-oriented architecture? Okay, what you can do in between is you can keep a pen and paper. Okay, few terms I may say, you may note down those terms. Just take a pen and paper. That may help you. Okay, that may help you remembering all the terms that I will erase. Okay, in between you can listen. So, why service-oriented architecture is so popular and so important? See, when a software will be developed, a big software will be developed. Now someone has raised a term API. Okay. Now API, and someone has raised a term, Shubham most probably REST. So REST API you have heard most probably. So API is a term, and APIs you are using when you are developing softwares. Okay. So those who are working in different projects, they are using API regularly, isn't it? Now, where those API are stored? Those API are stored online. You can directly call or refer to those APIs into your application, and those APIs will deliver you something. Okay. Now, these APIs are being integrated using those systems, means using those message passing mechanism. You are passing some argument into the API, and API is passing some output into your application. Now, see, when applications are being developed throughout this world, and big business applications are being developed, so it is not possible that entire application will be developed from scratch. What does it mean actually? Many functionalities, many important functionalities are already developed, and many people or many companies have developed different important functionalities. For example, say security functionality, or communication functionality, or different other functionalities different companies and people have developed. Those are very standard, those are very robust and good method, good components, and they are storing them over web or over cloud. And what you can do is, when you are developing any application, you can use those functionalities by calling them, okay, by referring them. So this is the way nowadays big softwares are being made. So big softwares can refer to other already developed component which are stored somewhere in some library, online library. So that minimizes your job. Already different things are available. Now another thing that comes into mind at this point is, there are different technologies and different platforms on which you can develop software. So many platforms are there, isn't it? So many platforms. It can be C, it can be Java, it can be Python, it can be .NET, and several other platforms are there. So when you are developing software in one platform, so is it possible that all the functionalities required in your application and that you will get from outside source are developed under same platform? That is not very likely situation. Okay, so maybe you are working in Java, and some functionalities are developed very well under Microsoft platform. So how can you integrate these two? So this was a problem. Okay, this was a problem. So to solve this problem, service-oriented architecture has come up. So why it is so? Because in service-oriented architecture, see, you are not doing anything. Your component is passing message and calling another component, another service component, and that service component need not to know anything about your component. What that is doing is, that is getting some message from you, and that is processing based on those message, and again that is passing some message as output to you. Again you are getting that message, and again you are starting your job. So you also, or your component also, need not to know what or how the other component has been developed. So this is a service-oriented architecture. That means different platform or service components developed over a different platform, they may interact. Okay, so this is the solution to the problem of a heterogeneous system. I think already about heterogeneous system. I already developed, I already discussed it in my earlier classes. Cloud promotes heterogeneous system. Okay. Now, what is that actually? When we are talking about cloud, and cloud is there, big cloud providers are there. They are providing us different services. Big cloud provider means the Google, Microsoft, Amazon, these cloud providers and many other cloud providers are there. So how they are developing their cloud? Of course, at the bottom there are hardware components. Everything is there. That is processor, memory, everything is there. Now these processor, memory, do you think that all will be of same nature? No, not at all. If you say that only processor of Intel will be used by and of a particular architecture, okay, maybe for 128-bit architecture, Intel processor will be used by, say, Amazon Cloud. If I say so, that will not be realistic. Okay, so that is not the case also. The cloud providers who are developing cloud, they are developing the entire system over a heterogeneous architecture. Now, I think you can understand the difference between homogeneous architecture and heterogeneous architecture. In our system, our machines, our laptop or desktop, these are homogeneous system. Okay, so one single type of component we have used. They are dependent on each other. They are compatible with each other. This kind of components we have used to develop our system. So these are homogeneous systems. But in cloud, different thousands and lakhs of memories are being used. Thousands and lakhs of processors are being used. So those are from different company, different architecture. Everything is different. But those things are being integrated to deliver the cloud service. So heterogeneous system has to be incorporated in a cloud system, and that is the business need also nowadays. Now, heterogeneous system in cloud, when I'm talking about this, that is about the hardware system. Okay, hardware system at the hardware level. But at software development level also, you can see this heterogeneous concept is there. Your system is being developed in some platform, maybe Java or XYZ, and other component that you are going to use, that is developed in some other platform. So if it is so that, if it remains so that these two components cannot interact, cannot take help from each other, so world will not proceed, business will not proceed, business will fail, isn't it? So this is the solution, service oriented architecture at the software development level. To overcome this problem of heterogeneous system, service oriented architecture is one tool. So with this, till now, whatever we have discussed, I think few things are there in your mind. What are the advantages of service oriented architecture? One is, very easily we can change or modify a system. That means a system is very flexible. So note down this term. Okay, later on I'll again repeat. So flexibility is one attribute which should be there in your software, in your application that you are developing. So service oriented architecture is the architecture through which, if you develop your application will be very flexible. Flexible for what? For making changes. Okay, because you see, you are incorporating or linking different other service components with your system. Now, for example, it is a payment system, and you are using a payment system developed by some outside source, some other company. That payment system you are using, the payment system you have not developed yourself, and that is very much realistic. You need not to focus on payment system development. Other expert companies are there to work on the payment system so that payments can be robust and secure. Now, tomorrow a new payment system comes. Okay, already different payment system are there, XYZ payment systems are there, and another new payment method comes in 2021. So you shouldn't worry, because your software is based on service oriented architecture. So that service provider whose payment system you are using, it is their headache. They will incorporate the new payment system into the component. If they fail, you need not to worry even. Some other company will be able to incorporate the payment system and you just replace that component into your software. Okay, just a simple service call you need to replace. One line change will make everything ready for you again. So that means customization or upgradation of the software is very easy. That means your software is very flexible. Okay, so not only this, if you want to incorporate some new functionality, altogether a new functionality which was not there in this world, so if you incorporate that functionality into your application, what you need to do? Just another service component, just add another service component into your interface, into your application. So very easily this way you can add new services, you can remove already existing services. So your software is very flexible. So this is the most important benefit of service oriented architecture, that your application will remain very flexible. Okay, and of course when it is flexible, it is very business friendly, you can understand, and which is the need of the hour. So this is the basic idea about service oriented architecture. Now I will share one presentation with you, and very quickly we'll review what are the different things of service oriented architecture. Okay, so before I go into service oriented architecture, I will share one previously discussed item with you. Just hold on. Okay, this is the thing already we discussed 2 months back, I think. NIST Cloud Reference Architecture. NIST Cloud Reference Architecture, I think you can see this. Okay, this thing and this picture, this model we already discussed long back, but today, before going into the cloud any further, I will again discuss this thing with you. It is a very simple thing. In NIST Cloud Reference Architecture, if you can remember, there are 4 actors as shown here. It is cloud consumer, it is the consumer, it is the provider, it is the broker, and it is the auditor. And those who are not present in this class, remember this is a very important topic for you. Okay, so discuss with your friends and just try to understand what is this cloud reference architecture, NIST Cloud Reference Architecture. So in cloud reference architecture, we have 4 actors, and these actors don't get worried. These are very common thing or common subject in our life. In our life, we take different services from different organizations, from different people, isn't it? So that case, the people who are giving us service, they are service provider. I am taking service, that means I am service consumer. Okay, so these 2 parts are very much known to you, service provider and service consumer. In case of cloud computing, it is cloud consumer and cloud provider. Okay, now who is broker then? Now about broker I already discussed, and in short again I will say, if I am a service provider, or if I am opening some kind of service, some kind of company, say I am opening a, for example, home delivery service of food home delivery service. Okay, so if I am opening a food home delivery service, I must make people aware about the service that I am providing. Okay, so one way of doing this is, to every people I will go personally, or I will reach personally via any mean, whatever it is, and I will inform them that yes, I am opening this service. And another way is, if there is some common platform where I can publish my service, I will go there. Now if there are any portal where I can put my service, where all the home delivery services information are there, I will publish my information all there also. So those kind of places are known as brokerage service. brokerage service. Okay, so here comes the broker component. So broker is a business idea. It can be a person, it can be a company, it can be a software, whatever it is. So broker will keep track of all the services, all different category of services. How will they keep track? Of course, the service provider, because of his or her business interest, will register their service into the broker. Okay, they will go to the broker, will register their service, maybe based on a nominal payment, maybe, or whatever maybe the business deal. So service provider will go to the broker and they will say, okay, I am also providing this service, keep this information into your registry. If someone comes to you to check who are providing this kind of service, my name also should be visible. That is broker. So consumer, what will they do? Consumer will not have all the information about who is providing a particular service. For example, if you want to, what I should say, if you want to take something, some service, you are looking for some service center for your laptop. Okay, what you do actually? You go to some portal and search for the nearest service center for your particular company. So all the information comes out. How is that? Because all the service providers who are providing service for that company's laptop, they have registered themselves to the brokerage service. And when you are searching, you are getting all the information from the broker actually. In this case, in general, you can say Google is the broker. Okay. We are searching over Google and getting all information as consumer because providers have registered themselves over Google. So this is the brokerage service. Okay. So consumer and provider can interact directly, but that is very unlikely situation. First, they will know about each other via the broker. First, they will know about each other via the broker, and then they will become aware about each other. Okay, so this is the third service, third actor, and this is the auditor. Auditor is an important role. Auditor plays important role in cloud. What auditor will do? Auditor will check thoroughly everything. If something is going wrong over any business deal, okay, any security threat, any business loss, any threat, any other kind of threat. So auditor will check everything regularly. So who will call auditor? Of course, consumer can call auditor to check who are the good providers. Okay, and providers also will call auditors to say that, okay, come and verify me and give me a grading. Okay, so you may don't think that whatever grading the provider will ask for, auditor will give that grading. If auditor is reputed auditor, then they will have a stringent procedure and they will check everything thoroughly of the provider and they will give the correct grading, and this grading will be important for a consumer to select the suitable provider for them. So these are the four actors in cloud computing. Anyone having any question regarding the four actors? Remember this figure, okay? What I was discussing, these four actors, remember these four actors. Okay, I'm stopping this slide. Any question you have, you can ask. All right. Now again, I will switch back to SOA. Okay. Just hold on. Again, I am going to share a presentation slide. So Devabroto, is it visible? Devabroto, is it visible? Or Jhumki, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, till now what I have discussed, any doubt regarding anything, Manisha? Is everything okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I'll proceed. I'll proceed with my presentation. Okay. Now see this figure. This is the SOA model. Okay, service oriented architecture, and what I have written here is, you can see, service interaction model. Okay. Now this figure is very much similar to the previous figure. Just one component is missing here. Auditor is missing. Okay. Otherwise, you see service broker, service consumer, and service provider.
Sir?
These three components are there. Yes.
Sir, I can't see the screen.
Okay. Is it problem with you? Anyone? Do you have? Can you see it, Kumarjit?
Sir, screen is visible, sir.
Screen is visible. Then Nupur, there is something problem. Just adjust.
Okay, sir.
Are you from home?
My network issue maybe.
Yes. So previous screen was visible to you, right, Nupur?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then just listen. And network issue, I don't think. Okay, so I will explain it in detail. Just listen, Nupur. It is just similar to the previous picture. Just here the auditor component is not there. Okay, and this picture represents the interaction model of SOA. Already in SOA I have said that services will interact. So this is the interaction model. In previous picture, what I represented is the interaction model of actors in cloud architecture. Previous picture was about interaction model of actors in cloud architecture, and here this picture represents the interaction model of services in SOA architecture, okay, or SOA. So here three actors you can say are there: service broker, service provider, and service consumer. And you see the interaction model. If you see here, you see the first comes the provider. Okay, so provider has all the services and service descriptions. So what provider is doing is they are publishing the information about their service into the service catalog of service broker. They are publishing, not they are giving anything to the service broker, mind it. They are not transferring the service component or that they are developed software to the service broker. They are just giving the information that I provide this kind of services, or my software provides this kind of services. That information they are registering in the service catalog of service broker. Okay, so once a service broker has all the information about all the services of all the companies, now when a consumer is trying to develop some software and he needs some service, for example a payment service, payment API I need to integrate into my software, so I will go to the service broker and I will check what type of payment services companies are providing, what type of payment I need to make to them yearly or monthly or per transaction basis. All informations I will get into this service catalog. Okay, so based on my requirement I will select a particular provider's service, and then what I will do, I will directly call that provider's service. This is the service call. See, then I will just from broker I have just received the information, mind it. And then after getting the information directly I can make a service call to the provider's service, and provider will deliver me the service. So this is how SOA is working. Service oriented architecture is working. So I can make 1,000 of such calls to different service providers. Okay, so my software can make 1,000 of such calls to different service providers. So all those service components will come together to build a entire application. So in that case, I will say that my software has been developed based on service-oriented architecture. And already I have discussed what are the benefits of service-oriented architecture. Is it clear up to this, everyone? Anyone having any problem up to this?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So if up to this it is clear, okay, there are 15 minutes more, we'll conclude. And now the base is ready. Till now, whatever I have discussed, if it is clear to you, you have understood 80% of the thing. Now I will just very quickly go through the entire content of SOA. Just wait. Okay, so in pre-SOA era, it was centrally administrated architecture. Okay, so you can understand what is a centrally administrated architecture. Mostly when you have developed software in C, in basic Java, so that was a centrally administrated architecture. Okay, so everything was at a place, and but later on requirement changes, and in between came a model that is component based application development architecture, CBD it was called. It was popular earlier to the SOA. Okay, so it was also part of pre-SOA era when component based application development architecture was popular. But then came this thing already I have discussed with you, heterogeneous system. Okay, so heterogeneous system was there, and heterogeneous, whenever there are heterogeneous system, every type of service components must interact with each other irrespective of their platform. Okay, platform and architecture, everything. So to fulfill that need, we have relied on service oriented architecture. Now see, it is an application development approach that is very flexible. This is the main thing. It makes the application development and also modification very flexible. Okay, and then see, now look at this part. In cloud, SOA is very important. Okay, with cloud, with the emergence of cloud, SOA has got much more importance, because SOA became SOA appeared before cloud. Okay, but with cloud, SOA's contribution, SOA's importance has increased because of these things. What are the things? Cloud increases flexibility, isn't it? If you know about cloud, of course, cloud increases flexibility. Okay, because from anywhere we can access my cloud computer machine, that is my virtual machine. Now, anytime I can expand the capacity of my machine, anytime I can reduce the capacity of my machine to minimize my cost. So, and anytime I can switch to different platform, different architecture. So this is very flexible. Cloud is very flexible. That gives me flexibility. Cloud also reduces cost. Already we have discussed, and very easier to maintain, because in cloud I almost need not to worry about anything. My machine will crash. Okay, I need not to worry. Okay, nothing about licensing. I need not to worry. So everything will be taken care of by cloud provider. So these are the main facilities we enjoy with cloud, and same facility we enjoy with SOA also. These three facilities, just look at these three facilities: increased flexibility, reduced cost, and easier maintenance. These three are attribute of cloud computing as well as of SOA. Okay, so since both have same characteristic, cloud and SOA, they integrate very well. Now see this figure. This figure is very interesting also. If you have knowledge about the cloud model, okay. So in cloud, when providers are developing cloud computing that is being delivered over network, so they are combining all different type of architectures, all different type of resources, and over those resources, or over those pool of resources, we should say, because it is a huge set of resources, and huge sets are called pool. Okay, so over those pool of hardware resources, they are developing the cloud facility. Now, to be a successful cloud provider, my pool of resources has to be dynamic. What do you mean by dynamic? First of all, any type of components made by any company
and of any architecture should be able to take part in the pool, first of all. Next is any component should be replaced very quickly and very easily. So if this can be achieved, so I will say that my infrastructure is dynamic. See this line, dynamic infrastructure. So in cloud and in any software application development or software architecture, think about your machine also. There are two layers. One is hardware layer, another is software layer. If you think about your computer and laptop also, one is hardware layer, another is software layer. Okay, so both has to be good. Your hardware has to be very good, your software has to be very good also. Okay, your software must not lag also. So in cloud also there are two parts. One is one is infrastructure, that is the dynamic, and that is the physical infrastructure or hardware infrastructure, and over that we have this application layer. So we will call it resource layer and application layer. Now in cloud, resource layer has to be very, very dynamic. So dynamic infrastructure is one requirement of cloud computing, and at the application layer, it is the service oriented architecture is the solution. Okay, so if application is being developed using service oriented architecture, that is cloud computing. Okay, so cloud computing has two different things. One is in resource layer, the infrastructure has to be dynamic, and in application layer, the application has to be developed using service oriented architecture. Is it clear, everyone? Having any issue, you can tell me. Okay. Now what is a service? A service, okay, I think regarding service we can here. Now services are language independent and platform independent. Already I have discussed. So you can just note down these terms regarding service in SOA. So these services are, what are the advantages? These are language independent, platform independent, what can interact with each other via message passing. So that is a big facility we can get out of service oriented architecture. Okay, so just note down these things. These will help you, I think. And remember these also. What is a service? Service is one independent entity, independent and self-sufficient entity. Okay, they can act on their own if some input is given. So service is independent entity executing some functionality. Okay, so what is a service? Again, note down, just service is an independent entity executing some functionality. Okay, remember this thing. And already and this is the pictorial representation of the service. So service is a component. Here through the box, if we represent this service, so via message passing we can interact with the service. Okay, provider and consumer already I have discussed. I will not repeat those things. And how services interact, already you know, via message passing and through the help of service registry. Okay, which is also known as service directory or service catalog. Just note down this term. Services, you know already what is, I have shown you what is service registry or service directory or service catalog. You also know what are the roles service registry plays. So everything is clear to you. Just note down this term so that you can remember. The model we have already discussed. Okay, so one new approach, currently the SOA version 2 is in market, which is event-driven SOA. Okay, so earlier it was version 1.0, now it is version 2, and this is known as event-driven SOA. Event-driven means you already know. Okay, you have done event-driven programming a lot. You already know what is event-driven. Event-driven means a service will be triggered based on some event. Okay, so already known thing. I am not going into it. Now see, goal of system designing. When we are developing some application, or when we are trying to develop some application, what should be our goal? These are the two goals. One is decoupling, another is composability. Okay. Now decoupling, already I think you are quite aware about it. In software engineering you have learned decoupling, so you should have good idea about decoupling. Means the component should be loosely coupled. Loosely coupled means you can anytime you can detach it and you can replace one component if it is not working as per your requirement. Okay, so loose coupling is one important criteria for good software making. Okay, so that is decoupling, and service or through service oriented architecture we are achieving decoupling. Okay, because we are combining multiple components, multiple maybe 100 components to make a software. So when you are combining multiple components and components are independent to each other, of course you can replace a component very easily, or you can add another component very easily. So that is decoupling. Okay, and here composability. Now a composable component has these properties. Okay, composable component has these properties. One is this, just remember these properties, just note down these properties. What is composable component? It is modular and it is stateless. Okay, modular and stateless. So modular means you can understand it is the it is a module, self-independent module. Okay, see here, independent and self-contained module. Okay, that means it is modular. It is not a very big thing. It will be it will have minimum volume, minimum size. It will be independent and self-contained. That means it is modular. The components are modular. And stateless means it will provide service to someone when that service it has provided the service, its job is complete. So it will not hold any state, previous state. It is refreshed. It is blank. Again, someone will ask for some service. It will do the job. It will reply, and again it is refreshed. So stateless. Okay, so this is composability. So composability, when we are talking about composability in SOA, so these are the two attributes a composable component should have. Okay, it must not hold any previous state and it should be modular. So just remember these things. This will help you to answer all the questions from SOA. Okay, now regarding service, at the last point here, the last thing that in service oriented architecture we are talking about service. Now what is service? Let us understand it in a brief. So service will have three components. Again, note down these three components. One, contract. Service will have a contract. I'm coming into it. One, interface. Service will have an interface and its implementation. Now from the last point, if I start the implementation, of course when you are saying you are giving some service or someone is saying they are giving some service, of course it has some implementation. Okay, the service body, service implementation is all there. Next, interface. So interface is the, now see, implementation is hidden from everyone. I will keep it hidden because that is my secret. That is my not only secret, that is my strength, that I have developed the service. So implementation will be with me. I will not disclose the implementation. What I will disclose is the interface of the service, so that you can call it. So interface in this case is the service name, as like method name. Okay, so service name is the service interface. Also I will declare what type of result it will return, and also I will declare what type of message it will take as input, that is the argument type. So that is known as a service interface. Any question, anyone, regarding service interface? It is just like a method interface. If it is not clear to you, you can ask. Okay, so after implementation it is service interface, and then comes the contract. Contract, why contract? Contract because when we are going to use some service of some other party, so it is a business deal. So when there is a business deal, there has to be some legal contract. Okay, so service provider, they will say legally, they will publish that yes, my service can do this, and my service cannot do this. If you agree with my declaration, you can use my service. So this is the contract. Again the opposite also true. The consumer who will avail the service, they will also declare, okay, I have gone through your contract that you can provide this, you cannot provide this. Yes, I am availing your service, and as per your business requirement and as per my use, I will pay you. Okay, so this is the contract. So this is a business contract and technical contract, different things can be there. So service will have these three components. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask, of course. So these things are written here, I will not repeat. Okay, now service implementation has three approaches. Again, you must note down this three thing. And terms are known, concepts are known, but still you can note down. That is top-down approach, bottom-up approach, and meet in the middle approach. What for these are? The service implementation approaches. In service-oriented architecture, when you are implementing some service or developing some service, how to proceed? See, two things are there. Mainly two things are there among the three components. First is interface. Second is the implementation. So what should come first? The implement or the interface or the implementation? One way should be, it is top-down approach. In top-down approach, first I will develop the interface, and based on my interface, I will implement or develop my service. That is top-down approach. Next comes bottom-up approach. Someone may like bottom-up approach, or some service developer, better to say, may like bottom-up approach. They will first develop the service or implement the service. And once they have implemented the service, everything is ready. Now they are aware about, okay, what is my interface? They will now declare the interface. This is bottom-up approach. And another middle way is meet in the middle. Means 50-50. I will come down from top to down, and again I will go up from bottom to top, and at the middle I will meet. So it is neither top down nor bottom up. Okay, so these three are ways of service implementation. Okay, so I think already we have discussed everything. Okay, so service components are stateless, already I have discussed. It is reusable. Note down these terms. The attributes of services, as you can see, the topic is attributes of services. Just note down. Stateless already we have discussed. Reusable already you know, and we have discussed. When it is a component, it is reusable. Okay, multiple services can use the same component multiple times. So of course it is reusable. So these are two very important service attributes. And the last thing is just hold on. Okay, so I think you have heard about this group. Can you see? I have highlighted a group name. Oyon, can you see this?
Yes, sir, open group.
So are you aware about this open group? Anyone? Or Oyon, are you aware? No. Okay. So open group is a, yes.
Isn't it open source? Open group and
yes, they promotes open source implementation. Correct, Devabroto. What Devabroto is saying, they promotes open source implementation. Okay, and nowadays open source implementation is very important, and that is very important to promote many things. One among them is this heterogeneous system architecture, to overcome this thing, or better to say, to promote interoperability. Okay, interoperability. If you have heard this term, note down this term, interoperability. Interoperability means, already I have discussed, but I didn't say this term actually. Interoperability means, already I have said that different components are being developed by different architecture, different platform, whether they can interoperate with each other. So that is interoperability. Okay, that is interoperability. So to promote interoperability, the open group is working. Okay, so they are standardizing something. What open group is doing is, they are standardizing. What they can standardize? They cannot control the platforms. What they can do is, they can say that okay, your interface standard should be this. They can fix an interface declaration standard. Okay, these things they are doing, and they are promoting interoperability. So Open Group has a great role in different things in SOA also. And in the SOA, what are the technology that are being used? Better to say, see, these are all known technologies to you. First of all, XML to transport and store data. Already we know through XML we can handle data. So to transport and store data, XML technology is being used. WSDL, that is Web Service Description Language. This is to describe interface. Remember, note it down. Okay, to describe the service interface is in SOA. WSDL is the language, that is Web Service Description Language. Now comes the SOAP, Simple Object Access Protocol. Okay, so it is a communication protocol actually. SOAP is a communication protocol. So actually services interact by message passing. Now messages are to be communicated. So what is the communication protocol service components will be using? That is SOAP. It is a platform and language independent. Remember, it is a platform and language independent communication protocol. Again, note it down. Okay, SOAP. And this is the last thing, that is UDDI, Universal Description, Discovery and Integration as directory service, or that is the catalog service. Already you have discussed that resides at the broker's end. Okay, so these are the technologies used to implement the SOA, and these are the architectural benefit. Already I have discussed, but just note it down: flexibility, reusability, simpler integration, and maintainability. Already all these things are discussed already. Okay, it is very flexible. Application becomes flexible. Service components are reusable. Service components are very simple to integrate, and service components are very easy to maintain also. Okay, maintain because if I want to update the service component, okay, my previous version of service component is working, I will update it and replace the previous one with the new one. So it is maintainability is very easy. And then if you the business benefits of SOA, this is also important because I started my class with business and IT. Okay, so SOA has great role to bridge the business gap with IT. So what are the business benefits SOA is giving, so that SOA is so important in IT? It provides agility in business. I think you can understand what is agility. Now it reduces cost, it increases quality, quick development and release to market, and it promotes standardization, because in SOA already I have said Open Group is working on standardization, and standardization promotes interoperability, which is big business goal. Okay, so these are the business benefits of SOA. Okay, and cloud computing and SOA have few common concern. That is, these are repeated things, but still you must note it down. Loose coupling already I have said, reusability, distributed system these are, and these has to be flexible. Systems are to be flexible. So this is all that are required to be discussed with you. So any question? And I'm complete. Okay, I've completed the entire SOA topic. Have you any question, anyone, on whatever I have discussed? Amartya, everything is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Anyone having any question? Raimi, everything clear?
Yes, sir.
Tanya? Tanya, is it okay? And Anindo, have you been able to attend the class? Anindo and Abhinandan. Abhinandan is also outside actually. And Adita, you have some problem.
Yes, I am present, sir.
Okay, have you got all the points?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then it is good. Okay, Bipasha, is it okay? Whatever I have discussed, have you got, Bipasha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So just go through the entire topic that I have discussed. Okay, you need not to worry about anything else. Just whatever I have discussed, keep everything in mind, so you will be able to answer all the questions on SOA. Okay, so with this I will conclude the class. If you don't have any other query, you just put your attendance also in the link before you leave. Okay, okay, so
Sir.
thank you everybody.
স্যার
Yes.
হ্যাঁ স্যার বলছিলাম কি আমাদের তো স্যার মানে যেহেতু এখন এমসিকিউ বেসড পরীক্ষা স্যার এবার তো
হ্যাঁ।
আপনি যদি স্যার মডিউল ওয়াইজ আমাদেরকে এমসিকিউ গুলো একটু সেপারেট করে দিতেন আর আজকে যে পিপিটিটা থেকে পড়ালেন স্যার ওইটা যদি একটু শেয়ার করে দিতেন।
পিপিটিটা না আমি একটু শেয়ার করতে পারবো না, এগুলো অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমার তো পাবলিকেশন এটা কেমব্রিজ ইউনিভার্সিটিতে, তো এগুলো ওদের সঙ্গে কপিরাইট আছে, বুঝলে তো।
আচ্ছা স্যার।
তো তোমরা যদি ওই জন্য আমি নোট করে নিতে বলছিলাম, বা যদি রেকর্ড করে থাকো দ্যাট ইজ ওকে।
রেকর্ড করেছি স্যার।
হ্যাঁ ব্যাস, তাহলে তো পেয়ে যাচ্ছ। ঠিক আছে, ডিরেক্ট পিপিটিটা শেয়ার করো, আমার এন্ড থেকে ঠিক হবে না। হ্যাঁ, ওদের সঙ্গে এগুলো কপিরাইটে আছি আমি অ্যাকচুয়ালি, আমার এই কন্টেন্ট গুলো সব ওরা পারচেস করে রেখেছে, বুঝতে পেরেছো।
হ্যাঁ
এটা একটা বিজনেস ডিল আর কিছুই না, তো সেখানে আমি ওটা ভায়োলেট করতে চাই না।
এমসিকিউটা যদি স্যার একটু শেয়ার করে দেন, মানে মডিউল ওয়াইজ আমাদের যদি এমসিকিউ গুলো স্যার একটু শেয়ার করে দেন তাহলে স্যার পড়তে সুবিধা হয়।
এমসিকিউ দেখো, ফার্স্ট অফ অল একটা জিনিস আমি সাজেস্ট করবো, আমরা যে পরীক্ষাগুলো নিচ্ছি 3টে অলরেডি নিয়েছি, সেখানে কিন্তু অলরেডি 30-35টা এমসিকিউ পেয়েছো তোমরা। ওকে, তো ওইগুলোকে খেয়াল রেখো, যদি ওগুলো তোমাদের কাছে না থাকে ওইগুলো আমরা শেয়ার করে দেবো অ্যাট লাস্ট। ওকে,
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
আর যদি আর এছাড়া বাইরে যদি কিছু এমসিকিউ ডিসকাস করতে হয় সেটাও ক্লাস নিয়ে আমরা শেয়ার করে ডিসকাস করে দেবো। ওকে ওকে, তো এরপরে আমি ট্রাই করব, কালকে কিন্তু তোমাদের একটা ক্লাস আছে ফ্রম 3 o'clock, ওটাও সবাই অ্যাটেন্ড করো। আরেকটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট টপিক আমি ডিসকাস করব, সবাই 3 o'clock কিন্তু কালকের ক্লাউড কম্পিউটিং এর ক্লাসটা অ্যাটেন্ড করো। আরেকটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট টপিক আমি ডিসকাস করব। তো এই দুটো ক্লাসের পরে মেবি আর একটা থার্ড ক্লাস নেব, যেটাতে আমি কিন্তু রেস্ট অফ দ্য থিংস ডিসকাস করে তোমাদের সবকিছু ওভারঅল তৈরি করে দেবো। তো সবাইকেই বলছি তোমরা কিন্তু এই ক্লাসগুলো এখন আর মিস করো না, জাস্ট ক্লাউড কম্পিউটিং এর ক্লাসগুলো। আইটিতে অনেক কিছু হয়েছে, প্র্যাকটিক্যাল হয়েছে, তোমাদের কিছুটা আইডিয়া আছে। ক্লাউডে যেহেতু প্র্যাকটিক্যাল নেই, অনলি থিওরি বেসড, সো দ্যাট ইজ হোয়াই দিস ক্লাসেস আই এম অফারিং ইউ। সো বুঝতেই পারছি সানডে ইভিনিং আমারও অনেকটা টাইম এনগেজ করতে হলো, বাট তোমাদের বেনিফিটের জন্য আমি এটা করলাম, কিছু করার নেই। আজকে স্পেশালি যারা ফুটবল ফ্যান আছো তাদের জন্য একটা ভালো খেলাও আছে একটু পরে, তো আর টাইম ওয়েস্ট করবো না। এবার তোমরা রিফ্রেশ হয়ে যে যা করতে যাবে চলে যেতে পারো। Okay, fine. So I'm concluding. Okay. Okay. Good night, everybody.